What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Business Breakthrough. In today's episode, I sit down with Justin of Just in Time Painting, and we are hammering out pricing, sales, foundation. He's a little kind of constantly underbidding his pricing. And, one thing that we had to hammer out is why he was doing that and a really good strategy to help ensure that he never does that again. So we dialed down the margins. We looked at where he was in terms of gross margin. And I think he left with a clear cut strategy on how to increase that over time and a little more confidence in the sales process. So awesome business breakthrough, definitely sales focused in this one. So I think you're going to get a lot out of it. And it starts right now. The big question you need to ask yourself every day is, do I own a job or do I own a business? And unfortunately, the majority of contractors out there own a job. That's right, they're a slave to their own business. But the other side of the fence is so much greener, it's so much better, and that's when you're finally fully in control of your destiny, your freedom, your time. And that's what Contractor Secrets is about. It's about taking back our time, building a business with systems, standards, values, procedures, putting yourself in the driver's seat. And that's what it's about. So I'm excited. I'm happy to have you here. Let's dive into the Contractor Secrets podcast. All right. What's going on, everyone? I'm here with Justin Adams of Just in Time Painting. With that name, dude, if they call you and they're like, hey, man, I need you to come in, this week, what happens?
I get tons of compliments on it.
I love it, man. I love it. That's cool, man. That's cool. I love the play on words, man. Tell me a little bit about what you used to do before you started your painting business.
So basically before I started painting, we're just talking about painting. So the past 7 years I've been painting, and I've been looking at it sort of like a paid apprenticeship, if that makes sense. Yeah. Just really paying attention to not only what we're doing on the projects, but sort of what the bosses are doing too.
Okay.
How they're talking to clients, how they're estimating, stuff like that. And I sort of just took notes the whole time. And
what stopped you? Well, let me ask you this. Was there a point in time, and I'd like to hear, I always like to ask this question. Reality of the situation is the people you worked for had a business owner inside of their house. Okay. And my question is, what was it that prompted you to leave?
I started doing like e-commerce, maybe like 4 or 5 years ago. So that sort of brought me into the business aspect. And at that time, I didn't like painting while I was painting. So I thought the e-commerce thing was going to work out, but then it ended up not working out. And I applied the same principles to it. And I was like, hey, I could take this painting thing pretty far.
You can.
So
good. Okay, cool. So you have this like entrepreneurial mindset.
That's where it came from.
Duration. Yeah. Got it, man. Got it. So what are some hurdles that you're experiencing right now? I mean, you seem like, I think you told me that you're doing about 15,000 a month. That's great.
Yes.
What are some hurdles that you're experiencing? Like when you look at your business as a whole, like what's that area of business that you're like, man, like, this is an area that I'm really wanting to
improve on.
Yeah.
Basically, pricing, I'm still dialing in on the pricing. I did this, I quit my job December of last year.
Okay.
And then
so from there 10 months of trial and error.
Well, in the beginning it was okay because it was just me, and then I hired 2 people maybe 3.5, 4 months ago.
Okay.
And after I hired them, I was the third guy. So basically whatever I was bidding, I was getting the third guy's pay. And I wasn't really keeping track of the projected profit, you know what I'm saying? So whenever I was taking these losses or whatever, I wasn't really noticing till I hired this third guy. So now I'm like, okay, my pricing is way out of whack. Either the pricing's out of whack or the estimated days is out of whack.
So when you price a job, all right, let's talk about what's going on now. How many guys do you have now?
I have 3 full-time guys.
3 full-time. So they get 40 hours a week?
Yeah.
Okay. So they get 40 hours a week. I'm going to call them A, B, and C.
Okay.
What is A getting paid?
17.
What's B getting paid?
17.
What's C getting paid?
17.50.
All right. Here's a suggestion. In the painting business, you don't need to give 50-cent raises.
No,
It should
no,
be.
no. No, he like whenever he started, I don't do the 50 cent raise it. Whenever he started, he was like, I'm getting paid this.
You
Can I
just
have
matched it.
this? Yeah, no. I just upped his pay a little bit. We didn't do it by hourly, but it broke down to 1750.
Got
So
it.
it's like
Okay.
he was like, I want $700 a week. So I was like, okay,
So that's how you, okay, fair enough.
right, right.
So let's talk about I mean, we're going to get to pricing, but there's some things we got to figure out first so I can help you, you know what I'm saying? So you
Just to
got,
point out, I got a 50 cent raise once a long time ago, and I was not happy. So I will
yeah,
not do that.
it's like, I don't know. It's just weird.
No,
Like,
I know.
my grandmother worked at a grocery chain.
Right.
She just, cashier, dude. And they gave her like a 30
25.
cent, a 30
Yeah.
cent raise. And I'm like,
Yeah.
what kind of, that's demotivating. It's
That's a
like,
slap in the face.
it's a slap in the face. I've never given a 50 cent raise in my life. It's always a
Right.
dollar. There's
Yeah.
always a dollar. If I can't
At
swing
least.
a dollar, then I shouldn't be giving you
Yeah.
a raise. All
Right.
right. Anyway, because it's $20 a week. Like it's $40 a week. Like when you think of it like that, it's just $40 a week. So
Yeah, it's not
anyway,
much.
yeah. Anyway, so all right. So we have these 3 employees. So let me talk about the foundation here. Okay. The foundation for me is number one. Do you have something in place that's a payroll service that's making sure that they're getting direct deposit? How
Yeah.
are they actually getting the money? Tell me what that looks like.
They get direct deposits every Friday.
Through who?
Paychecks.
Cool. All right. So you're using paychecks for that. I love it. I love that. I'm already happy. And now what about workers' comp? Are they facilitating workers' comp?
Yes.
Beautiful. So if you identified what your workers, are you in Florida?
Yes.
It looks like you're in Florida. I could tell by the stucco.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm in Florida too.
Nice.
Workers' comp. What is that percentage? Same as me, right? It's like 9%, I think, right now.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
9%, right? Okay, so you got 9%. Now, what we do is we factor in about 8% for employer responsibility. That's paying the taxes,
Right.
on top of your employees. Okay, so that's 8%. All right. So when we look at your hourly amount, do you know what that is off the top of your head?
Are you saying what it should be?
What it is currently. If you, for all your guys to work 1 hour, do you know exactly how much money that is?
Yeah, it's 120.
Okay, let's take a look. So 17.
That's like projected, like what I'd like,
No, we want to know our raw numbers. So right now, I'm gonna calculate it for you so you know. Times 0.09 plus 51, and then we're gonna times that by 0.08 plus 54. All right, so it's about $59 an hour. Okay. So what we're looking at is our costs, right? So it's 17 times 3.
Yeah.
Plus your workers' comp plus your employer taxes. So your all in employer responsibility is $60 an hour. Okay.
Right.
So we understand. So right off the bat, good foundation, decent pay, Florida rate, decent pay.
Right.
Are you working on the jobs? I see you got some paint on your shoulder.
I just have a painting shirt. I was going to a bid here later, so
Okay.
That's
yeah, I got you. All right. So
I've been all right here to that question.
Yeah.
I have been, because we have been backed up, but I've been recently trying to like collect more data to see what these guys are actually doing on these jobs, so I can, bid
Improve
correctly.
it.
Yeah, because we're like a month out right now, so quite a few of these jobs are actually bid correctly, but the past I'd say 2 to 3 were just not well.
Parameters and expectations and hierarchy is what's missing. 100%. Right. So we have A, B, and C. Have you established a leader on the job? Because based off of this pay that you have, I can't tell who's the leader. Who's the leader?
Yeah, I know. All right, so let's call C leader 1750. Right. Okay,
we're going to rearrange our A, B, C. So now he's A, and then the other 2 guys are B and C. So you have 1750. He's the leader. Okay.
Right. Not because of the pay. Just I've known him for the longest time. I went to school with him since 7th grade. So he's got 5 years experience. So
so in terms of his personality, what's his character? 1 to 10.
Every client loves him, dude. My last client.
So he's a rock star, right?
Yeah. The last client I had, she said, you need to not let that guy go. So
okay, great. So you found what we call a unicorn. Okay.
Right.
And this guy comes to work for you every day. You're here with me now. He's taking care of the job, right?
Yes.
You have the secret sauce to success in business. You've somehow mastered it, probably because you're a good person and you treat your employees well. He needs to get a raise like yesterday. You can
Okay.
afford $20 an hour for this guy, but when you give a raise, I like to always make it like this moment, man, like this thing, like first of all, you
Yeah.
have plenty of room. First, you have plenty of room. I'm going to teach you how to price your jobs effectively. But right now
Okay.
it's about getting to a point where you're definitely going to keep him. and
For
he's
sure.
and he's even more motivated because we now have given him a substantial, increase, which he deserves at this point. He's been with you for how long?
Like 3.5 months.
And he's clearly exceeded your expectations. Because let me make this even
Right.
clearer for you. If he walked away right now,
Right.
you would come at him and say, "Hey, man, I'll give you the 20."
Most definitely.
Don't wait for that to happen. That's an important lesson in business.
Okay.
Okay. Don't wait for that to happen, because when a worker, okay,
Hey.
makes up their mind and
Right.
commits to leaving, and what you're giving him is money to come back,
Yeah.
the foundation's already busted, man.
Okay.
So you have an
I
opportunity.
appreciate you telling me that because I have been waiting for that, almost like that perfect time, but it just
It won't come. You're going to
right.
start thinking about it. If you don't dial your numbers down like this, you can't confidently give the raise. You haven't done this yet. I can
Right.
tell.
Right.
I'm not,
Yes.
I'm just being honest. I'm not trying
Hey,
to be
it's
disrespectful.
okay.
I want you to know this, because this is strategy that you need to look. Okay, these guys are getting paid this much. We're
Yeah.
at $59 an hour, which is
Right.
nothing, right? That guy needs to be rewarded. All right. And here's how you need to do it. And you need to make it to where it's like, hey, man, first of all, I just want to say, dude, I appreciate you being my friend, how you've treated my company and the respect that you have for you make it a thing, man. Take them out to lunch.
Okay.
Leave the guys, take them out to lunch, maybe even today. Say, look,
Right.
man, I've been thinking, I want to keep you around. Let's grow this thing. I'm going to give you $20 an hour starting next week, dude. Thank you for everything. I'm going to buy you lunch, man. We're going to talk about how we can crunch down those job times. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to essentially bid jobs. I'm going to let you know how many days I bid the job for. All right. And
Right.
what I need you to do is we got to be in constant communication. And if I'm wrong, you need to come at me and be like, dude, you kind of underbid this because we need to do X, Y, and Z. So when you go and do an estimate, now we know, hey, man, this should have been a 4-day instead of a 3-day with this team. Right.
Yeah.
Like,
But that comes to the sense of like, will this client pay the, because all right,
don't worry
so
about that. We're not there yet. We're still
okay.
building the foundation of the company.
Okay.
We're not there
All right.
yet. I'll teach you how to price jobs. And you're in Florida, so it's not so much if the client will pay. It's if you can do a good job of justifying why the client should pay. That's what it is. People have
That's the
money.
deal right there.
People have money, man. We're in the
I
time
know.
period. People have money. It's a matter of, do they see your worth? Let me put it this way. Are you going to an estimate with that?
The
Is
shirt,
that your,
yeah.
yeah?
I mean,
Get a polo.
maybe like 75%
Put a
of the time.
polo on. Put a polo on. It's perception. Okay. It's all perception in sales. When you go to a restaurant, fine dining establishment, everyone's
Right.
butter tight, right?
Yeah.
Okay. When you walk in that door, you're going to spend more money than if you went to Applebee's.
Right.
It's just perception. You might get the same quality food. It doesn't matter.
So,
It's just a
so you
perception.
don't get, wow, that makes a lot of sense. So you never go to a client's house in plain clothes ever?
I don't even own paint clothes, bro. I mean, being honest with you, I don't.
I mean,
So,
your first year, your first 2 years. Let's go there.
let's put it this way. I always had a change of clothes in my car because
Okay.
I've always been in sales, and
That's fair.
here's the thing, like the mindset might be, yeah, like, and this is an argument that many people will have, and I'm not being disrespectful and saying, this isn't,
Right.
some people like to see a painter come in, but I want them to pay a business, not a painter. And when they look at a painter,
Yeah.
they're thinking this guy is going to charge me his rate. No, you're representing a business. So you need to come in and represent a business that provides painters.
Okay.
It's
That
all
makes a lot of
perception.
sense.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
when you go, every estimate you should do, you're immediately going to notice when you come with a clean polo, some jeans
Right.
with your company hat on, or you hand them that business card, we're starting a show. And what we're doing is creating an experience in that sales interaction. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? Yeah.
No, I'm really familiar with like perception, but that's a different play on perception because I was thinking of the sense of like you said, hey, a painter's coming, but never thought of like, hey, this business is
A
coming to my
painting
company.
company is coming.
Right, right, right,
See? Like a painting company is coming. Where a
right.
painter is what you're going to get.
Handyman, right,
Right. If you hire us, right now in that interaction, painting clothes aren't necessary. Right now we're
right.
talking business.
Yes,
And you know what? Anyone listening to this, I just want to make sure this is clear. You can be the salesman in that regard, and then tomorrow come with the painting clothes and be the painter. It's just about
definitely.
separating the business from the production. And I think
Right.
when they mesh, that's when the customers devalue what they should. You know what I'm saying? So just make that clear.
That's genius. That makes
Yeah,
a lot of sense.
yeah. So what we've identified, just to recap, is this A guy here. You don't
Yes,
want you don't want you want to keep morale high. Okay. Right
yes,
now, with the way the economy is, inflation, the fact that what you have is worth gold because you're here and your jobs are going. Okay.
right.
You're doing what I'm doing on a smaller scale. Okay. You've
Yes,
you've you found a player that takes ownership on your jobs. He needs 20. Don't even worry about it. It's worth more. Trust me.
yeah,
Anyone
for
listening to this
sure.
knows that, like, Florida painters, if you go up
They
north,
the
you're
new
paying.
hires, dude, they've been asking for a lot of money, or at
Yeah.
least to me,
17 is a great number for somebody that
Right,
you could trust to work. Like, that's a good Florida number. I'm just saying up
right.
north, the cost of living is higher. So it's
Yeah.
it's it's proportionate. But anyone running your job, the minimum is 20.
Okay.
Minimum. So you can make that a thing today. Grab him off the job, talk to him, give him that raise, shake his hand, thank him, and now his motivation level is high, and
For
he's
sure.
excited. He hasn't
Yeah.
gotten that. Okay, so that's we're building the foundation, right? So now we know. Let's add the money to the total. So now you're at about 65 an hour. Let's talk about pricing and let's talk about marketing. Let's talk about the jobs that you're taking.
Okay.
Now, number one, how are you getting jobs? How do people find just-in-time painting?
Okay. So the first bit of my business, I didn't market at all. It was just strictly like word of mouth for like 4 5 months, and then I got licensed and insured. So and then from there, I didn't want to advertise while I didn't have my license and insurance, just on the fact of like, hey, I don't want to get in trouble, whatever. So as soon as I got that, Facebook ads, Google ads, and then got the home advisor thing. That's been working pretty well. Um, I'm on almost every platform
How much are you spending per month?
per month on advertising. I actually shut off leads for the past like month, but before that, maybe 500 600 bucks.
Okay. So let's look at this. So let's start here. On
But the
Monday,
word of mouth was going far. Like I didn't need,
yeah, no, if you don't
you know,
need, listen, if you don't need ads, don't buy them. I'm just trying to make
right,
sure. And I like that you have the reps in to where, okay, if I need work, I can go to this channel. If I need work, I can go to this channel. Like, that's
right.
good. That's a good business mentality. Let's talk about, like, produced revenue. Let's see what is this team capable of producing. So let's start. What job did you start a job on Monday?
Yes.
Okay. And then how many days was that job for?
The job, it's supposed to be like the projected time would be 4 days. They
Okay.
may actually get it done in 4 days,
Okay.
but
So the projected time was 4 days. So Monday through Thursday. How much did you sell the job for?
it was like 4,200.
4,200 bucks. Do you have a job for Friday?
Um, yes.
And what are you doing Friday?
We're doing this client. We were supposed to start on Monday. We're about like a week off schedule.
About a week off schedule, but what
Yeah,
type of job is it?
it's interior.
Okay. How many days?
That one's 3 days.
3 days. Are you going to be working the weekend, or are you starting Friday, coming back Monday and Tuesday?
I'm back Monday.
All right. And then how much was that job?
I'm gonna have to go look real quick. My bad. I didn't
That's all right.
expect this
Yeah,
kind of
no,
quick.
that's all right.
80. That one is 2940.
And that's a 3-day job or a 2-day?
That's a 3 day job.
It's a 3-day job. Okay. So we got a $4,200 job that's a 4-day job, and we got a 2940 job that's a 3-day job. Do both jobs include the paint?
Yes.
Okay, so how many gallons are you going to use on the $4,200 job total, do you think? Just give me a ballpark.
So far, it's 17 plus 8 plus 2. So I think in all I did it last night was 32 gallons. Everything
Wow.
include yeah, it's a 2-story house.
What type of paint are you using?
It's super paint.
It's a 2-story block exterior, isn't it?
No, no, it's really nice.
No?
No, it's really
Okay.
nice.
All right, so you're using super paint. How much are you getting super paint for?
$29.
29 a gallon. Okay. And then that $2,900 job, that's an interior.
Yeah.
How many gallons?
Go through notes. It's 14.
14 gallons.
Yeah.
Same product.
Yeah. Yeah. Never mind.
Okay. All right. Do you have any clue how much you're going to be making?
I have not.
We're going to go through it right now. All right.
Okay.
So the 4,200 job, let's start there. Okay. You got 4 days on this job and you're thinking they're going to get it done. Okay. You have 3 guys, and let's say we are going to go to our new number of $65 an hour. Okay. That's 32 hours at $65 an hour. So that's $2,080 that you need to pay in labor. Okay.
Okay.
So 2,080, that's how much you're going to pay for everyone to get 32 hours on that job.
Right.
So you have 32 gallons of paint and you're getting it for $32 a gallon. Okay. That's 1,024. Okay. So
yes.
you have 2,080 plus 1,024, and I'm going to add in an extra $100 for plastic and all that stuff, right?
Definitely. Yes.
All right. So 100. So let's do the math on this. Okay. 2,080 plus 1,024 plus 100. That's 3,204. Okay.
Yes.
You sold the job for $4,200. Okay. Let's look at what that profit margin is going to be. So you know how to calculate profit margin?
Yeah.
Okay. It's 3,200 divided by 4,200. Your gross profit margin. Oh, I'm sorry. Profit margin is 4,200 minus 3,204, and that's going to give you a profit of 996. So you're making $996. Okay. And we're going to divide that by what you sold the job for. So you sold a job for $4,200. Your profit margin is 24%. Okay.
Right.
That's gross profit margin. Then you have expenses for the business, right? You have insurance, general liability insurance. You have gas, like all these things, right? So that is a very unhealthy profit margin.
Most definitely.
And I'm going to teach you how to fix this. When you want to sell jobs, you want to be at about a 50% margin when you're like busy. The lowest you should ever go is like 35 to 40%.
I'm telling you, it's like it's crazy because my margins were right there. It was way above. It was like around like at least 60 to like 75% by myself, and then I got the 2 guys, and it was still. I know, I loved it.
But your pricing never changed. The way you quote never changed. So when you add good things to your business, you have to bump the price up accordingly. I'm gonna teach you how to do that. So this other job, let's just make sure you know what this is. So you have 2940. This one scares me. 2940. So we have 3 days. So everybody's gonna get 24 hours.
Hey, before we continue on that real quick, I just want to put this out there that I'm still getting used to the pricing of 3 people exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is jobs that I bid like 2 months ago.
You didn't do a bad thing by getting 3 guys, by the way.
No, I know.
Yeah, but
I was already like booked for like a month and a half before I had.
So you're squeezing them in?
Yeah, I already hired like 3 or 4 other guys. I had let them go, and then I finally found this one dude that locked in a spot. So so basically I've just been eating it because of my misbids 2 months ago. You know, I have this data now that I could run by. It's just
No, it's good.
thing that
Sometimes
I did a while ago.
gotta go through this. So 2940. So 2940 minus 1966. That's your
You
cost
said
on the
this
other
one
one.
scares me.
Yeah, it does. Well, it's because you're a great guy. You're business minded. Like, I'm gonna teach you how to price jobs where this never happens again. Okay.
Dude, the
So
last one, you would be so disappointed. I was
it's all right. We're not
disappointed.
gonna go there. We're not gonna go backwards, man. We're not going backwards. So I just want you to know that you're consistent. Like, so this one you're making 974 divided by 2940. Okay, this one's at 33%. So not as bad as
Oh, a bit better. All
getting
right,
better.
let's go.
Yeah, getting better. All right. So look, you're at 24 and you're at 33%. Okay. You're not far away from 40, 45% at all.
I know.
And the difference between that is your sales process and how you actually go about selling these jobs and how you actually go about pricing them. So, first thing we need to identify is the types of jobs that you take. So the types of jobs you take are going to have a lot to do with like how you schedule, how you price. Like, it would not benefit you to take on 2 bedrooms.
Right.
Like, if somebody wants 2 bedrooms done, that's not your job. If somebody wants their living room painted, not your job. You got to understand, what is the minimum job that I'm willing to accept?
I got
right?
you.
Like, what is the minimum job type? Typically, you would base it off of a 50% margin. So how do you achieve a 50% margin in your company right now? Well, the first thing is you got to identify, like, what is 8 hours of pay for everyone? So do 65 times 8. So that's 520.
Yes.
Right? That's 520. So that is like your base level. Now, typically,
you say, wait, hold on. You said the new hourly is 65?
New hourly is 65.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So that's I'm basing all this off the new hourly with giving the A guy a raise. So
gotcha.
So you're at 520 minimum for the day. Okay. So essentially we want to make 50% on top of that. So for example, what's 520 times 2? 1040. Okay. And then typically you want to make 50% on top of any of your paint costs. So for example, let's say paint on a 1-day job is $300. Multiply that by 2. So your minimum day should be 1,600 or 14.
So if you're getting super paint for $30, what you're selling it for $60?
You always, it's not that I'm selling it for $60. It's that when I come up with my pricing, I'm factoring in what my paint cost is. I'm factoring in what my labor cost is.
Yeah.
And I'm multiplying it by 2.
Right.
So it amplifies those values to give me my pricing. So I'm going to teach you how to price right now. I'm going to teach you how to quote. Okay. So first of all, we got to identify what we're doing. So typically my suggestion is only take full exteriors, only take full interiors. Okay. And you utilize marketing to help you do that. So in other words, if you go to Home Advisor and say, I only want 4 or 5 plus bedrooms, you're going to get those jobs that you want. Right. If you go on Facebook ads, make it hard because you can't really target exactly who's going to come to you. But in the beginning, right now, I think your strategy should be like just targeting, like, and if you don't know how to do that.
2 more things we do.
What else do you do?
We got interior, exterior, and then we got kitchen cabinets and garage floors.
Okay. That to me,
I know we could break those up into different businesses. I've heard
you could, but I'm just saying, like, that to me is just going to make what we're trying to accomplish here super hard. It's gonna. It's not that you could. I know that you can break them into a lot of businesses. Like I used to do the same thing, bro. Trust me. And I just narrowed it down to interior and exterior painting. Why? Number 1, consistency in my scheduling. Number 2, morale. My guys don't want to be doing cabinets one week and then they interior painting next week and then exterior painting. Like, it's way too much change. Like, change, variety is good. We get variety by going to a different house every couple of days, but not like when it comes to work. Like we want to know, like, we're not really improving our business. You can branch off and have a cabinet team that just does cabinets. That's the best way to do it rather than, so just think about that. But anyway,
I see what you're saying.
But you could, if it comes down to like if somebody has a full interior, like, hey, can you do the cabinets? I'm not telling you to say no. I'm just saying, like,
don't go for it. Yeah.
Don't go for it if you have a pool of people. Because you're trying to
perfect a process, not just perfect like 10 processes.
Right. Perfect one first. Let's talk about perfecting your interior painting process, right? We're just going to start there. You have a 2,000 square foot house. Okay. Let's put it this way. Ceilings, walls, trim, and doors. I invite you over to my house. Let's start with your pricing. We'll talk about the sales process too, but let's talk about the pricing. How are you pricing that job out and what are you doing? So like, for example, like when you initially greet me and I want my house painted, like what does that interaction look like? How long do I have to wait for a quote and how are you coming up with the price?
So whenever I first get to the client's house, um, just hella questions, a lot of questions.
What are the questions?
Um, what are you looking to get done? Um, what's your reason for doing this? Um, what are you envisioning? You know what I'm saying? Just like I'm just sort of like just trying to bring out their thoughts so I could have something to go off of.
Okay.
And then
Yeah, for sure.
how I basically price things is by video. So like I go through this whole section, they show me around, and then I'm like, okay, just really quick, I'm gonna take a video of all the places we just walked through. So because they usually talk to us throughout the whole house. So wait till the very end until they show me, and then so I'm not like interrupting. So I go back, take a video of everything, and then just follow up, tell them I'll give them a proposal shortly, like later on that night, and then go from there,
How are you
basically.
pricing it, right? So you're taking this video home. How long
Yes,
does it take you to come up with the price?
maybe like a couple hours.
A couple
Not
hours?
just no, not just like it takes me a couple hours to price it out. It takes me like 30 minutes. Just like I need to get somewhere where I could just look at the video
Focus.
because I have
Okay.
this long proposal that I send out along
So
with
when
it.
you're engaging with the customer, do you feel like you're building like a good relationship? Like do you feel like that's important to you,
Most
right? Like you're most definitely,
most
right? And you're building
yeah,
that trust, you're doing all that. And then how do you feel when you send the proposal and you don't hear back?
that's what the follow ups are for, man.
Yeah.
You
And
got
how
to
do you
follow up.
so you're calling them and following up?
Yeah, so I'll give them
Good.
like a 24-hour follow up, and then if they don't answer, I'll follow up the following day with a text message. I
Right.
won't call again.
Right.
That's kind of like I'm not gonna bug someone,
Sure.
but a text message that's fine. And then after like 48 hours, call it a wrap.
Call
You
it a
know,
wrap.
that's
Okay.
that's the game. Sometimes you lose too.
Yeah, sure. But I just want to know, like, when you find out that people didn't go with you because of like the price, like how does that make you feel?
They usually will not. That's the thing is about these people that I've been getting, or maybe just everyone. If I follow up, and I do follow up every single time to everyone, doesn't matter big, small, whatever job it is. If Sorry, what was the question? I lost the
Well,
train
my
of thought.
question is this. My question is this. I'll put it this way. Like you're pricing very favorably right now.
Right.
Like so like I feel like, you're not really like your closing ratio is probably higher than it should be, but
Yes.
that's not a good thing. Like, I could go and sell a job for half my price and I'll sell everything. Everybody be happy
Yes.
to work with
Yes.
me. As a strategic business owner, you've got to figure out how to have the confidence to push that pricing up to make sure your business can grow to bring in more money.
Right.
But also maintain that same, strategy that you're doing. I love that you're following up. That's how you do it. And you should follow up longer than 48 hours. This software actually continues to follow up through email and text message automatically.
But I mean,
So I
if
keep
no
that
one
in.
answers, if no one answers after 48 hours, wouldn't that be sort of
Not
like
true.
a little bit of spam?
No, spam what? I mean, we're in the business. You got to be aggressive in business. Like that's one
No,
thing I've learned, and
so
it's not
I
so much like think about it. I call it the lifeboat mentality, right? Like if you
right.
know that people are going to be drowning in a sea of contractors and you
Yes.
know that you have their best interest in mind and you actually ask them what's important to them, you're going to provide an A1 service. You know why? Because
Right.
you have the best team. You know that when you send those guys there, they're going to do what they said they're going to do. The customer doesn't know that, right?
Most
Customers
definitely.
going into this situation blind. They literally have to experience whether or not it's going to work out, right? But here's the
Yeah.
thing. This is a couple things I want to help you with. Number one is your pricing. All right. So let's start this. So number one, I'm going to teach you how to price this shop. So if I come to a 2,000 square foot house, I can price it in 5 minutes and give them the price there. Okay. That's going to increase your closing ratio dramatically by providing a price on the spot. Have you ever done that?
No, because all right, now here's my theory to that is with this not saying I have the best closing messages or anything like that, but I feel like they have could read the process that I have. All their questions are answered. how we're going to do their house, what paint we're going to use, it's all in there. So whenever I give them the price, it sort of justifies that means. So I want to hear what you have
It's
to
a
say
good,
about
yeah,
that.
it's a good, it's good in theory.
Hmm.
But what you're really doing when you go there and you shake their hand and you have a great personality and you make them feel comfortable and you're nice is you're building a
Right.
relationship, right? And if we had an emotional intensity gauge of
Hmm.
like how high the emotions is, would you agree that buying anything is an emotional decision?
Most definitely.
When you
Yes.
work for general contractors or new construction or is that emotional or is it is it a numerical decision?
Right. Right. Right.
Like they don't care about if you're a nice guy, the contractors, if you work
No, they
for
don't.
or commercial, they don't care.
I've
They care
never
about
I've never worked for
me
another
either. But you
contractor.
know that if you did, they wouldn't care about how nice of a guy you are, right?
Right.
Right. But what do homeowners care about? They
They
actually
they care
value
about
that.
that a
They
lot.
value that highly. Right. And
Yes.
when you're in there and asking what's important to them and you're doing all this, and you got the husband and wife there, and they're like,
Yep.
they're super excited. Okay. Here's where I'm getting. Okay. If you were a car salesman and you
Hmm.
did the same exact thing
Yeah.
and you put them in the vehicle and they drove the vehicle. And that's kind of what you're doing by walking around the house. You're driving them through the vehicle. You're letting them get a glimpse of what it's going to be like to hire you, to invest in you, to be around you. Right.
Right.
And you brought them back to the car dealership at the highest level of emotional intensity that they're ever going to have with you. And you might think
Yeah.
it's crazy. It's all psychology. If you have them back in the dealership, right?
Right.
The absolute worst thing that you could possibly do to tank your sale is to send them home.
Right. No, that's why I was kind of smiling because that's a funny ass scenario. It's basically what I'm doing. Like, hey guys, we're right up here. Like, I'm about to close, and then all right, guys,
About to
bye.
close, and
I'm
then you're
I'm
like,
gonna tell you later.
all right, I'm gonna head out.
Boy. Okay.
So you're
All
like,
right.
so you have to understand that we know that customers and homeowners buy emotionally.
Yeah.
They're not logically working data in their mind when they're interacting with you, bro.
Right.
They're not
Right. Right.
logically thinking, is this too much? Because you're building trust and value. And thanks to every, crappy contractor that's ever come across their way, they understand that trust and communication is something to value in this decision-making process.
Right.
Okay. So we have leverage there. It's like, hey, listen, I know not everyone is going to patiently walk through this house with you, make you feel comfortable. You know why? Because you
Mm-hmm.
have a team working.
Yep.
You're not rushing back to the job. So you can sit
That's
there
true.
and you can talk to them and you can find out what's important to them, find out why they're buying. I love that. It's one of my questions is what's the story? Why are we here? Tell me
Same
what
thing.
happened, what got us here. Okay. But the biggest issue that you're running into right now is you're going
Right.
home. So what happens when you leave, that moment that you leave? Husband and wife, you know what they do? Oh,
Yeah.
I wonder, he's probably going to be, expensive or, all
Yeah.
right, well,
Like,
and
why
then they
didn't you want
start,
to tell me the price now?
yeah, why didn't he
Yeah.
want to tell us the
Right.
price now? Oh,
Yeah.
we got to all right, well, let's call that other guy to see what he says and compare
Yeah.
what he said to him. And then that emotional intensity starts to drop, 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 drop. Now it's down
Right.
here. So when you send the quote, they forget how you made them feel, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They forget
Yeah.
that it's gone. It's like there. So now what are they basing the decision off of?
That
Logic.
text message, right?
They're basing it off of logic at that point.
So whenever you say that you close on the spot, do you have a contract with you on the spot, like just templates or what?
I use my software. You could do it it doesn't matter how you present it. Paper is going to be more effective. I will say that.
Right.
If you have a printer in your car, that's a good investment. If you have a paper contract, that's still a good investment, but we use an iPad. So, we have the iPad out, we're going through everything and we're showing them the price right off of Dripjobs,
Okay.
So like we have the price right there. But essentially like what that's doing is it's yeah, is everyone going to close on the spot? No. But if you do that with every single person, your closing ratio is going to dramatically increase and you're going to get better at closing as you do it. So you're going to exponentially get better. You know what I'm saying? Because you have no reps right now. So here's the thing. Once you do that, you're going to start to recognize how cool would it be when you email that quote to see what that first reaction is when they open it, right? How cool would that be? Like to see what their or seeing that, ooh,
right.
Okay, right? Or they're on their phone, they glance at it, or like, I'm not even gonna. They look. You know what people do when they get a quote?
Right.
They go right to the price. They
Even
go
my
right,
long message, they'll go right to the
then
price.
they'll
Yeah.
go back to your message
Yeah. Right.
to see where, you know, but everyone wants to know that number, right?
Okay.
So when you're in person and you're giving that price, you're
Hmm.
looking at that reaction, and they're going to look at their husband, or husband's going to look at their wife, and they say, all right, well, I think we need to think about it. Right? You're going to hear that.
Yeah.
That's going to happen all right, well, we're going to think about it and we'll get back to you. That's going to happen. Some people
Yeah.
say, this is going to happen one time and you're going to be like, I'm hooked. When they look at it,
I'm
they're like, okay, let's do it. And you're going to be like, whoa, you know,
okay.
okay, let's do it. All right, cool. This is different, you
Right.
know, and you're going to love that. But then there's going to be people that say, I got to think about it. So let's go to pricing. I was teaching you how I price. So, and that's where we're going to stop. So hold that thought. We're at that point where you're doing
Yeah.
the sales process where I got to think about it. 90% of people who sell in
Mhm.
home, they leave after they say that, which is a big mistake. You got to
Right.
understand everything's negotiable. So let's start with your pricing. So
See,
you're at
now,
60
like
Go ahead.
like you just said, you just made the perfect point. Is a lot of people, they don't respond to me after I say that last price. I'll follow up. Don't respond. Guess what? Whenever you're there and they say, I don't really like that. You have the chance to be like, hey, okay, well, what about this?
What about this? So we have a
I
couple.
have
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
just won't text me.
No, you missed it. Okay. Like it's gone.
Right.
Like after that point, you don't have, and you could, but then
Right.
you're on the phone, you're over email, and it's not as
Yeah.
effective, right?
Yeah.
Like you're going
It's
to, you know,
almost like,
so
I feel like another text message of a price would be like, oh, this guy's sort of like desperate for work or something like that.
yeah, like we don't want to
No?
do that. Like we want to be in person. And again, we're capitalizing on emotion, bro. This is sales 101.
Yep.
This is done all throughout our economy, all throughout
You're
the
bringing me
world,
back.
bro. How people buy things, man. It's off
Yeah.
of emotion,
Yep.
right? So as you're growing your business, you need to be doing this because like
Right.
every job that you get is one step closer to a growth point in your business. Like
Okay.
at this stage of my business, we have leverage. We have jobs lined up. We have the reputation. When we go in there, people know who we are. Maybe at your stage right now, you're building that. So like you need to capitalize on every opportunity. When it comes to pricing, so I'm going to use my scenario of my 2,000 square foot house, ceilings, walls, trim, doors. And by the way, I have a calculator that I'm going to send you, and it'll allow you to put this stuff in. So anyway,
Okay.
your hourly rate $65 an hour. The very first thing you need to be looking at in the house after you identify what the scope is, how many days is it going to take your team, right?
That's right. Yep.
So that's number one. And if you know what that hourly rate is all in, I have it circled here on this piece of paper. It's $65 an hour. So
Okay.
let's say that 2,000 square foot house is going to cost you 5 days of labor. So at
Mhm.
$65 an hour, let's look at what that is. So $65 an hour, multiply it by 8 hours a day times 5. So that's $2,600, right? That makes sense? 2,600.
Yep.
You good with that?
Yep. Yep.
Okay. Paint. How much paint on a 2,000 square foot house? Ceilings, walls, trim, and doors.
Probably like 25 gallons.
25 times 30. Okay, so you're at about 750 worth of paint. So we just calculated that in 15 seconds. So 2,600 plus 750. So your total cost to do this job, your business, okay,
Yes.
not your business 3 months ago, right now, as it sits, as it lives and breathes, and costs change and goes up and goes down.
Right.
It's going to cost you right now $3,350. Okay.
Mhm.
Could you sell the job for 3,400?
For 5 days work?
Could you sell it?
Yeah,
And how much would you make?
probably not much.
$50.
Yeah. I
But
was
could you
gonna say
sell it?
that sounds extremely. I'm looking towards like maybe like 5,300 weekly.
So look, but my question is, could you sell it if you really wanted to, and would the customer be super happy?
Yes.
Say, I'll do
Yes.
it for $3,400, and they would be like, what? Right?
My
Okay.
last. Oh, all right. Yeah, we're not
Just
going
follow
back.
me
to-
here. I'm going somewhere with this. So $3,400. Okay.
Okay.
Could you sell the job for $7,000?
See, that's where it's getting a little it's scary just because of the. I don't know. Like one of the things I was going to bring up here is I don't know if I'm attracting the right clients or if I'm just not like you said having the closing, or how'd you say it? I can't justify the price of $7 grand.
Right. But watch, we're almost done. I'm going to teach you. Okay. This is very simple. And you're going to be like, all right, yeah, you could do it. First of all, you got to believe that you're worth that much.
I
If
do.
you don't-
No,
if
I
you don't-
do.
Right.
But
so-
it's just
so
like the client. Like I
all
just
these
feel
things
like
You're making too many assumptions about clients, the
Okay.
people, and they have money
Right.
and they're
Right.
fooling you. They're closing you on why they shouldn't pay that much.
Okay. That
Somebody's
makes
closing somebody here, and you're being
that's
closed way too often.
that's a different perception of that. Okay.
You know, we got to use these analogies to kind of
Yeah. No,
get
thank
rid
you.
of our you know, our
Thoughts.
assumptions, you know, our
Yeah.
thoughts. Yeah. So your cost is 33.50. Okay.
Mhm.
If you multiply that number by 2, in order for you to achieve a 50% margin, you need to price it at $6,700,
Yes.
right? Okay. Now you have 33.40 is your lowest possible price you could possibly, or 3,400 is the lowest possible price you could sell it for.
Right.
6,700 is your highest possible price.
Yes.
So what you need to do is you need to identify that everything is negotiable between those parameters. It's just a matter of how much money you're going to make.
Right.
Right. That's
Yeah.
number one.
Definitely
so when
not
you
50
go,
bucks.
what obviously when you go into that estimate, you need to be going in at that 6,700. Now, before you would send that quote and you would have no way to negotiate after that.
Yes.
Because that was it. Right. But because you're doing it in person now, so in other words, I came up with the price in a minute. I'm in my car working it up, whether you write it down or whether you put it on your iPad or however you present it. Don't write it on a business card. We want something professional with how you're going to do it, what you're going to do,
Right.
all this, okay, what the deposit is. And I'm going to walk into your house and I'm going to sit them down at the table. Okay. Don't give a price standing up.
Yeah.
That's a golden rule. Don't give a price standing up in the driveway. No. Hey, could we just sit down for a second and I'll show you what we're going to do for you.
But doesn't that sound serious?
Very serious. It's very serious.
Okay.
Why wouldn't it be serious?
No, I see. Okay.
We're talking serious money here. This is the biggest buying decision they're probably going to make for the year. I want to sit down.
That's very true. Yeah.
Yeah. See, like you've got to believe that it's serious. You've got to believe that it's worth it. You've got to hold yourself in such a regard that they can't help but look at you and say, this is my guy.
Right.
You got to command that presence in a sales environment,
Yeah.
So, hey, do you mind if we sit down for a second? I can go over exactly how we're going to go about doing this job for you. Right. What are they going to say? No.
So that's where you could explain the process of everything, what you're going to do.
Exactly, because they forgot everything you said from that point before, other than the things that were important to them.
Right.
They were there to tell you what they wanted, and you're trying to explain what happens, but they forgot. So we're going to reiterate it right before we give the price.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
It's better to have you say it than for them to read it, right?
Yes.
Because you can emphasize the important things. Now, if somebody told you during that walkthrough, this rotting wood over here is bothering the heck out of me, I was hoping we can get that fixed. What are you going to emphasize before you give that price?
Sorry, I just got a cold.
No, that's okay. If you're doing that walkthrough and they tell you, hey, this rotting wood here
right
is really bothering me, are you going to re-emphasize that, how you're going to get that fixed?
Oh, most definitely.
Of course, you're going to emphasize, hey, that rotting wood that you told me about, we're going to get that fixed. Real quick, before I give you this price, let me tell you a little bit about our team and our process as you're sitting down. Okay. So let's say painter A, his name is Joe. Say, Joe and I have known each other for the last 5 years. We actually went to high school together. He's our project manager. You're going to love him. My customers actually tell me that the biggest mistake I can ever make is getting rid of him. He is that good. You're going to love him. When he gets here on the first day of your job, this is what he's going to do. He's going to shake your hand. He's going to walk through with you. And one thing that's really important to us on an interior paint job is a place for you to stay. We're painting your whole house. So we're going to finish your master bedroom on the first day.
Dude, you'd sell me right. That's great.
You see how the value of that engagement right there increases the price, because I already know the problems. So I'm coming with solutions. People pay more for solutions. People pay more not to have to make decisions. People pay more to not to have to think. And the person that they're paying takes care of all that.
For sure.
If a painter came in behind me and said, yeah, I don't really know how many days it's going to take. We'll probably be here for about 6 days. I do have a subcontractor crew and I'll have to get with them. I'll have to call them and see what their schedule looks like. And they say, well, where are we going to hang out during the paint job? Hey, it would be good if you guys can leave for the day. Is there any way you have some family members or a hotel you could stay in so we could just paint this place?
I'm professional.
Okay. You're
Right.
dialed in. Hey, it's going to take us 5 days. That's our standard. I'm going to get with my project manager Monday. I'm going to make sure he knows exactly how many days this job needs to take. On day one, your master bedroom is going to be completely finished. So for the remainder of the 4 days, you have a place to hang out.
Okay.
And you're sitting at the table discussing this stuff. And you haven't even shown the price yet, but you're building value as
Right.
to why it's worth paying you more. You see?
Yeah, that's
So
great.
I present a price to you after all this. You're salivating $6,700. And you know in your heart that price is just not going to work. Even though this guy's good, for us, that price is just not going to work.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yep.
And they look at each other and say, listen, we would love to go with you. We just need to think about it. And you know what that means. That means that the price is too high, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What are you doing at that point in time? If I said that to you and you just did all that stuff and I said, hey, we need to think about it.
You would have to go a little bit lower.
Okay. How do you present that?
That's what you would figure out in your truck, right? Like, hey, if they don't go for A, here's a B.
That's right. Answer. You're getting it. You're getting it, dude. Dude, you're one of my favorite people to coach because I know you know this stuff. You have
to be brought to light.
You have natural, like you have natural talent. You do. You just need to refine that because you understand this process. Okay.
Yeah.
So yes, you need to. And my calculator tells you the 3 things that you need. Okay. So and I'm going to give that to you again. So if 67 is your top of the line price at 50%, then guess what? Maybe 63 will be your middle price, but guess what that's at? 45%, right?
Right.
And you're leaving confident that. So here's how you do it. Say, listen, let me ask you a question before I leave. Do you mind if I ask you a question? And they'll say, yeah. What did you guys have in mind for the project? What was the quote that the number you had in mind? And they might tell you, we wanted to be under $6,000. Mm-hmm. That was our goal. Everyone has an idea, bro. Just so you know, that's another thing that we have to affirm is that everyone has an idea, right? You say, what was that number you had in mind? And they say, we wanted to be at about 59. They don't know that your price is negotiable, bro.
Right. They think that's it,
They think that's it. And you know what you got to say? You got to say, you know what? And it depends on how bad you need the job or how bad you want the job, right?
Right.
If you don't need work for 3 months, I would say, okay, all right, whatever, I understand. Yeah. All right, it's different because you can't get to it. I mean, like it is what it is. But if you have 2 weeks worth of work coming up, say, listen, I would love to do this job for you. I don't have that much room, but here's what I can do. You told me that this was really important to you to have the driveway pressure washed at some point in time. Okay, so we have 2 options here. We can lower the price or we can offer more value in exchange for their business, right? So you don't always have to lower the price. Pay attention to what's important to them. I had a lady that say, oh, one day I really want to get some shelving put in to my laundry room. Okay.
Right.
I did this. Watch. I said, you know what? Here, how about this? If you allow me to earn your business today, that's what you want to say to your, if you allow me to earn your business today, I'll have shelving installed into that laundry room for you. And we'll work that into the paint job. How's that sound? Man. Right there. And you know why? Because their idea of what that costs and how hard it's going to be to find someone to do that is worth way more than what I'm charging them. The difference between the $5,900 that they wanted to spend and the $6,700. Yeah. They're like, you know what? Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you.
Because they already like you, and you're just performing that. You went the extra mile right there.
I went the extra mile. I paid attention to what something that. So I'm always looking for value props, right?
Right.
Here's the now pricing tiers is the other one. So you might be able to be like, all right, listen, you're wanting to be at 59. I'm at 67. How about I meet you in the middle at 63 if you allow me to earn your business today?
That's not if you allow me to earn your business today.
If you allow me to
earn that line right there.
It's power. It works. It works. This is how I built my business, man, using these lines, using this strategy.
Right.
And it works because it's emotional. So that's what I'm saying is that that 6,300 is a profitable number.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, 53. I think 53 is like the target weekly, just for our pricing.
It shouldn't be.
Currently.
Based off of what I just did, it shouldn't be. It needs to be. You need to bump it up to at least 63. That's going to put you at probably about a 40% margin.
The reason I was asking you about pricing is because the past, I'd say, not well, maybe like 2 or 3 clients ago, I got deposits from. They said, of course, after contract is signed, you. And I thought I killed it on the price. I was like, dude, let's go. They were like, not gonna lie, you're a bit cheap. Just letting you know. And then they signed the contract or whatever. But I thought
You
there was a
deserve
deal
more.
there.
You put
Yeah,
together a great team. Okay.
right,
You're a great guy. You're going to use great products. You need to believe it. I think that's what we're going to come out of today. And you might not, I know it's hard for you to see it, but I see somebody that's not fully confident. Do not buy for your customers. That's a mistake I made early on in sales. I'll be honest
right.
with you. I didn't have much money saved up. So for
Yep,
me, when I think of somebody buying a $7,000 paint job, that
right,
to me psychologically was like, I wouldn't pay for a $7,000 paint job right now, but you're the one selling it. So it's
right.
like, you've got to have that confidence as in
Hey,
like, I
I
put
mean,
together that process.
like to follow up on that, like I think the services are most definitely. I mean, dude, I saved my money, bro. So I think the services and like my prices that I give out are most definitely worth what I'm saying. It's just like I think, like you said, it's the assumption of, hey, I don't think these people are going to go for this, so let me put it to this.
And that's hard with going into that assumption when you're emailing your quotes.
That
Because
see, now that's why we're here, buddy.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
When you're emailing your quote, like you can't, like at this stage of my business, when I email a quote, I'm putting the highest quote out, even
right?
through an email, because again, we don't need, like,
Or
we're not in a need like environment right now.
yeah,
So, but like in
so you
person,
can test different things,
yeah, you got
right?
to test the margins out. Like,
Yeah,
and again, you might get somebody to be like, you might come in at 67 and they might say, well, we wanted to be at around 62.
yeah.
Okay, well, if I sell it for 62 today, will you allow me to earn your business?
So whenever you say that, how you have the B backup, do you have a C backup just in case they're
Always.
like,
If it depends on how bad I want the job. Like
okay,
that,
okay,
it's supply and demand. Your job as a
right,
business owner is to always make sure that your teams have work, right?
yes,
That's first priority, is to make sure
yep,
those guys get paid.
mhm,
Then after that's taken care of for X amount of time, that's when you capitalize. So like,
right,
you've got to gauge that. Plan C is like, let's say they say, Tanner, 63 is just still a little too high. I'll say, you know what? Listen, I hate the back and forth. I want to do this job. It's a great job. It'll keep my guys busy all week.
right.
I like you guys. 59. Let's call it. Let's call it. Put your hand out. Let's do it.
This is funny. Jesus Christ. All right. I wish I had like a screen recording button so I could have recorded this whole thing.
It's
You're
all
gonna have
recorded,
clips.
bro. It's, you got to listen to. I'll put it on the podcast. You can
Okay.
re-listen to it. Yeah,
All right.
it's all recorded. But listen, man. I know you're going to be very successful. It's just
So
refine these things.
one
Refine these things.
one question on my behalf is do you charge by square footage, or is it like, hey, what do I think I could get
Doesn't
done in a
matter.
day?
It doesn't matter what it's always about costs.
Okay.
Like the square
Just what it
footage
costs.
metric.
Right.
Like, here's the thing. If the price, let me make this clear. The
Mhm.
square footage metric is just to show the customer. So if that house that we're talking about, the 2,000 square foot house, if
Yeah.
I'm at 6,700 bucks, all
Uh-huh.
I'm doing, bro, is dividing 6,700 divided by 2,000. And I'm going to
Right.
tell them it's $3.35 a square.
I thought there was like, I see, this is the same thing with assumption. This is why I should be networking and talking to more painters. This is why I scheduled a call. Is I thought there was like a legit where everyone used this almost like in the middle factor of like square footage pricing to go off of jobs.
I don't care what anyone's doing. No, here's the thing. It's all about, we talked about this, emotions. Like,
Right.
the number
Yes.
doesn't really matter, man.
Yeah.
It's imaginary. It's the number is the perception of, like, here's the thing. Why do people pay to go to Disneyland? They want a great experience. Like,
Mhm.
why do people pay more to stay at a nicer hotel? Why do people pay more to go to the same football game but sit at the bottom row?
Right.
The experience. They understand the value is going to be better. Their experience is going to be better. Your whole
Yeah.
focus during your sales process should be painting the picture of what that experience is going to look like for them. So it makes it really, really, really hard for them to go with someone else at a cheaper price.
I think I've been more focused on the process of like how I'm gonna explain to them how we're gonna perform their job, you know, instead of like the actual experience. Like you said, like, hey, my guy I've known for this long.
Yeah,
So
and
that just
that's
tells them
something I
like, hey,
teach.
they're
They know you're going to
trusted.
do a good paint job.
Right.
You're there. They know that. You wouldn't be
Yeah.
there if that, don't even spend. I call it the 595 rule. It's in my sales training. I have a little sales course.
Yeah.
595 rule, right? 5% of your time should be focused on the pricing and the project. 95% of the time should be focused on the experience.
Yeah. That's why I've been trying to focus it on, but how you just pitched it to me was a little bit different than I've been going about it, you know?
Do you have an estimate today?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What time's the estimate?
I need to follow up with him. He just, it was a home advisor lead. I need to call him after this.
Cool. Yeah, cool. So it's a great opportunity. And just so you know, Dripjobs follows up with home advisor leads automatically, and they can book without you even having to call.
Okay. Yeah.
So you have to have that conversation separately. I think you'll like it. It's cool. So, but yeah, man. All right. Well, let's cap it for today. If you ever want to jump back on, dude, I do these for free anytime. Yeah, man. Was this helpful?
Yes, very. I think
Thanks.
it's some things that like were in my brain, but you sort of just refreshed it and maybe look at it a different way.
That's all I try. Hey, that's what I say. I come here to offer perspective. That's it.
That's it.
I'm not trying to tell you you're doing things wrong at all. That's not my goal.
Right. Because I was almost here searching like, hey, I need to move to a different area to not me personally, but my business to a different area to get this pricing of that what you just said. But I guess I could try it out here, you know?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
So.
Well, we'll touch base soon. I want to hear your progress, bro. Keep me updated.
All right, buddy. Thank you.
All right. Dripjobs CRM is finally here. That's right. So Dripjobs is an automation platform for contractors, home service professionals that's going to automatically follow up with your customers. It's going to allow you to send invoices, estimates. It's going to allow you to send out blast marketing emails to individuals based on where they are in the buying process. This software is next level. And I'm reaching out to you. You're a listener of this podcast, and I want you to be one of the first ones to give it a shot. So if you want to see what Dripjobs can do for your business, I'd love for you to head over to dripjobs.com, sign up for a free demo, and get your team involved, and let us sit with you and show you how powerful this software is. It's going to save you time, it's going to make you money, and you're going to love the features that are built into Dripjobs. So if you want to check it out, head over to dripjobs.com. And we will give you first priority being a podcast listener to be one of the very first to try out Dripjobs in your home service business. I'm super excited to share that with you, and I'll catch you on the next episode.